Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. It is time for our week 4 upsets. This is the home of the upset. We will snag another one this week. My first upset of the week is I got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Chargers. Right now, the Raiders are plus 3.5. And this isn't as much about me loving the Raiders as much as it's about I don't like the talk around this game. It seems like that people are talking like the Raiders don't have a chance, which I find ridiculous. Now, I did hit the Chargers last week against the Chiefs, and we know the Chargers are a good team, and we all respect Herbert. But this Raiders defense has been playing better. They're able to hit the quarterback this year, something we haven't seen in quite some time. And that helps all levels of the defense. And then you got Carr. Yeah, he threw that bad pick 6 early in the Miami game, but this has been Carr's best year so far. And everyone likes to shit on Gruden and make a joke out of Chucky, but he really is a joke on this Raiders team. Is extremely hard to beat. I think this comes down to the last possession. I think it comes down to the last minute, and I'm not so sure the Chargers get this victory. I wonder how that atmosphere will be in the stadium. I already have had probably 6-7 commenters saying they're Raiders fans and they're going to that game against the Chargers. It's going to be a heated atmosphere. It's going to be a really nasty game. It's going to be more low scoring than people think. Some people think this is going to turn into some sort of shootout. I don't think so. I think this is a fight. I think this is an alley brawl. I think it's about which offensive line does better. Chargers offensive line is playing better, but you can't count the Raiders out, because they got the run game and they can run it better than the Chargers. Next game, we got the Baltimore Ravens at the Broncos. Ravens are plus 1.5. And I shouldn't even have to come on here and put this on. I shouldn't even have to put this on my paper. This shouldn't even be a game I'm talking about, but everyone's so high on Teddy Bridgewater, high on Fangio. You would think the Broncos have the best defense in the league. You would think they got Deion Sanders at corner with Von Miller rushing. You would think the Broncos team should beat the 76 Steelers, but the Broncos have a 3-0 record against teams of a combined 0-9. And I know the Ravens are in a vulnerable spot. They got injuries up the wazoo, and they didn't look good against Detroit last week. And if Detroit even had a spine, they would have won that game. We don't even need to factor in the field goal. I'm just factoring in the 4th and 23 Detroit gave up to the Ravens. So I'm no Ravens Super Bowl guy, but this Ravens team you can't sleep on. And they're going to come out explosive, and they're going to come out hungry. And eventually, Teddy Bridgewater is going to get stuffed. There will be reverberation. There will be resistance from defenses, because the blueprint to stop him is rather simple. Press man-to-man, 8 men in the box, make him throw it more than 20 yards. Hell, make him throw it more than 10 yards. If you can do that, you will be successful. Ravens still have a good secondary. They're going to get physical. We know Judy and Sutton are good. I don't think Bridgewater has the arm talent to unlock them, and I think this game proves it. Now, Mile High is dangerous for Denver, but I don't think Denver should be the favorites. I had to put Baltimore on here. It is an upset. I'm even hearing it with public opinion. With public opinion, you would think the Broncos are favorites by a touchdown. Next game, we got Thursday night football. We got the Jacksonville Jags at the Cincinnati Bengals. Jags are plus 7.5. And this was one that I saw on the opening, and I didn't like it. But the more the week goes on, the more I study the game, the more I like it, especially with the plus 7.5. That's turning into a borderline money pick for me as the week goes on. And I know it's Jacksonville. And I know I have to be the adult in the room. And I always have to take things with calm and take things with grace and patience. But I like what I see out of Lawrence. Yeah, there's been some big ticket mistakes that have absolutely killed the team. But also I've seen him drop some dimes. He looks confident. He looks fast on an NFL field. Listen. Lawrence is going to keep fighting, and he isn't scared, and he isn't going to back down. That's one thing you need to see out of a young quarterback. That's what we saw out of Burrow the year before. I think this game turns into an offensive battle. I think both teams start sloppy in the first half, but I think Burrow and Lawrence start picking it up in the second half. I got questions about Cincy's defense. And they look decent against the Vikings at times. Sure, they look damn good against the Steelers, but am I the only one with the same view that I'm on a wait-and-see approach with this Bengals defense? And the way you can tear apart the Jaguars is you got to attack their offensive line. You can attack them in the run game, and you can also attack them in the pass game. My advice against the Jags would be to load up, stop the run first, and then you can focus on rushing the passer. But with the Jags, their offensive line sucks, but I don't think the Bengals have the playmakers on the defensive line that scare anyone. This isn't 4 years ago where Geno Atkins was an elite player. There's just no one up on that front to really give Jacksonville problems. I think Lawrence creates. I think Lawrence has a good game, and dare I say he has a few moments of greatness. I definitely think they cover the spread, and I think this Burrow-Lawrence game is going to be better than people think. I know people probably felt like, oh, man, this is a terrible Thursday night game, but I actually think it's going to end up being good, but could be wrong. It could be a 17-0 snoozer, and the Jags don't even show up. Next game, we got the New York Giants at the New Orleans Saints. Giants +8. Last week I had the Saints as a money pick, as an upset on the road at New England, and I still like the Saints, and I still respect Sean Payton, but this game is more of me just kind of rolling the dice at the roulette table and saying, don't the Giants have to respond? And I never liked Joe Judge, and I don't like people like Joe Judge. Like, those people, they get in the background and they just put their head down and they're able to move up slowly. You don't even know they work at the place, then soon they just keep moving up a spot every year. Joe Judge is that type of guy. He knows how to play the politics of the NFL, but he doesn't know how to play the X's and O's of the NFL. But I'm looking at this game. One reason why I picked the Saints over the Patriots was because I felt like, A, the Saints will run the ball better, and B, they will be more physical than the Patriots. I don't know if they can do that against this Giants front seven. The Giants front seven doesn't have a lot of explosion in rushing the passer, but one thing they're good at is they're good at getting in their run fits, and they're good at stopping the run. That's what you have to do against the Saints at this moment in time, especially with Taysom Hill sprinkled in. I think the Giants stop the run. That gives them a chance. Teron Armstead's out for the Saints. We know how good he is on the offensive line. And it just comes down to, is Daniel Jones going to do anything? Because the Giants defense, they're going to put up a fight, and they're going to put the Giants offense in position to win this game. I just don't know if we're going to see anything out of the Giants offense. So be cautious when you approach that. Next game, we got the Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell +3 at the Chicago Bears. This is an upset because you can't trust Matt Nagy. And the Lions are playing hard. They're playing tough. It's what Dan Campbell said. We know the Lions have very little talent. Like I said, I think they have the most unathletic defense in the league, and it shows, especially on film when they're pursuing to the ball. But with Chicago, they can't really gain any positive yards on offense. So I actually think this Detroit offense will be able to withstand Chicago's punch, and we don't know who Chicago's quarterback is. And in this Nagy versus Campbell matchup, I absolutely like Campbell in this matchup, and that's why I'm leaning towards Detroit. And if you had to put a gun to my head right now and you had to ask me which offense do you trust more, I actually have to roll with Goff. Even though the Bears, I think, have more overall talent on offense, this Bears team is so poorly coached on offense, they don't know where they want to go. One thing I do know about the Bears, I don't think Justin Fields will start, and I think this gives Detroit an advantage in the pass game, surprisingly. I think Detroit gets this. Next game and last game of the weekend, we got the Carolina Panthers +5 at the Dallas Cowboys. No Christian McCaffrey, but I have to put this one down because we have to see what this Carolina defense can do. This Eagles defense got absolutely throttled and slashed and eviscerated by the Cowboys offense. Dak was at his best, but the thing I liked about the Cowboys was they were able to stay balanced with the run game. Did you notice that? They actually stuck with their run game, and I was really surprised to see that from Mike McCarthy. But Mike McCarthy faces a tougher matchup this week. He faces a very young, athletic Carolina defense. Derek Brown in the middle is one of the best run stuffers, interior players in this game. And when you get Matt Rule, you got a guy who attacks you in layers. This Carolina team, they're not going to beat you with 6-7 explosive minutes of football. They grind games out. They win turnover battles. What is Sam Darnold going to do? One thing I do know is Sam Darnold has a ton of opportunity against the Cowboys defense that can't stop anyone. I'm surprised the Cowboys defense with Dan Quinn has looked so good this year, but I do think it's time their talent gets exposed. And we can talk about Carolina's defense against the Cowboys offense. Yeah, that's what everyone wants to tune in to see. That's what's going to get, that's going to get the ratings. But what I want to see is Darnold against this Cowboys defense. I think Darnold can do some work, and I think this could be an upset. But I got to tell you guys, the one upset I really like, Baltimore, and I'm really starting to feel this Jacksonville one as the week moves on. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share the videos. This is the best gambling show on the internet. And if you want to see every bet I make, only $5 a month on Patreon. I was 4-1 on my bets last week.